Born and bred in Tuscaloosa, not raised in Baton Rouge. Didn't ride no wagon train to Norman or to Boone. They said I'd never make it, just a name they overlook. Now I'm burning up their game plans and ripping up their books. No 5-star shine, no silver spoon. I came up grinding on a Friday night moons. Now they feel me coming like a 4th down blitz. Got them talking sideways, throwing fits. But I must admit, I can't quit. 'Cause I'm the outlaw, college football. Ain't no stripes can hold me back. I don't need their legacy or no booster money stack. I don't bow to no tradition. Ain't no handshake deals I need. I just play for pride, for fire, and the will to make them bleed.
Woo! The will to make them bleed. Bleed crimson. That's what's been happening in Tennessee. They've been taking it in the mouth from both Alabama and Oklahoma, as we discussed last night. Just find it real ironic that Tennessee, and I brought this up last night to kill a breeze, against both Crimson teams, they throw interceptions right at the end of the first half that ultimately cost them the game. Alabama with a pick six, 99 yards, and then Oklahoma with that field goal that ultimately changed the whole complexion of that game for Tennessee as they continue to not to be able to control the ball and hang on to it. And then they want to blame everybody else because they're in meltdown today. I'll go ahead and tell you, they're in meltdown up there in Knoxville. I can hear it all the way down here in Tuscaloosa, man. Because that 3 points by Oklahoma, if you think about it, had that 3 points not been put on the board after that Tennessee turnover right before halftime, like they did against Alabama, the game would have been 24-23. Tennessee would have been up in Oklahoma instead of 26-24 there towards the end. So it changed the whole complexion of the game. They got to get that shit under control. Don't need to quit blaming people. They're already talking about firing Josh Heupel. Speaking of firings, boom shakalaka boom. Last night, it didn't take much to be Nostradamus on that. Last night I mentioned that as well. Losing to Kentucky, the worst team in the SEC. Well, I guess they're not the worst anymore. I guess Auburn is. But only scoring 3 points on Kentucky at home. This ain't like it was in Lexington. This was at the barn where all the voodoo takes place against Alabama and Georgia. But all these other teams can beat Auburn. I said that I thought that, Hugh Freeze may be about to get the axe. And sure enough, this morning I wake up and what do I hear? Another one bites the dust by Queen. And hold on for just a second. Let me go ahead and clear up this sound back here in the back. There we go. Sorry about that, guys and gals. As you can see, got my Cobra Kai shirt on today. That's right. That's right. Cobra Kai, baby. Cobra Kai. Now, let's get to the gallery. The home of the common Joe and the common Sally in the know, even more so than all the media talking heads. That's you guys. Y'all what makes this program go. That's what y'all what keeps me up and running. Even though I got demonetized by YouTube for resharing Charlie Kirk videos. Yep, I'm going to keep saying it. So now we have to get donations through Venmo under JPC316 and monthly $ JPC316 on Cash App because, like I said, I've been demonetized to December 14th for resharing Charlie Kirk TikTok videos. Now let's go ahead and see who the first batter up of the night was. It is Thunder OU Center, the most attending listener of all time. Tennessee fans are pissed that they did not win the game. They think their season is over with. Well, a lot of people do think that. The team with 3 losses has only gotten in one time. That was Clemson last year, and that's only because they happened to beat SMU in their ACC title game and basically backed in. And then they punished the SEC for SMU shitting the bed, excuse my language, against SMU. SMU doing it against Clemson. So we got punished last year. Last year, the SEC had 3 teams with 3 losses on the cusp of making the playoffs. This year, the strength of schedule is supposed to matter. So we'll see. This year, you could see maybe 2 or 3 3-loss teams get in. The way losses are piling up for teams. Miami caught their second loss yesterday. Teams are catching their second loss rather early this year. Fred Bagley's also in the house. What's going on, Fred? Roll Tide, says Brian W. Let's go ahead and get to that story real quick since Brian W. brought up Roll Tide. But before we do that, Robert Wagner said that song is Grammy worthy, just as The Outlaw. It speaks the truth. Yeah, a lot of people love that song. I also have another song without the words that Johnny Johns and them built for me as well. I use it periodically as well. He's in a band called Next Halo. But let's go ahead and get to the Alabama story of the day. There is some turmoil coming out of Tuscaloosa, a little controversy, if you will. So let's go ahead and read that real quick. An Alabama football player was arrested yesterday on the off week. A lot of people act like they're surprised about that. My boy Jonathan Lewis, who does a podcast for T-Town Media, y'all go check him out. He's also on TikTok as well. Some good Alabama stuff coming from him and Marvin Constant. And y'all check him out. But check this out real quick. See if y'all can see that. See if I got it pulled up good enough for y'all. All right, here it says Alabama legacy defensive back arrested on multiple charges. University of Alabama is investigating defensive back Dre Kirkpatrick following an event that occurred in the bye week. Says he's under investigation after being charged with 3 counts of reckless endangerment, which is sort of serious, and 1 count of attempting to elude and speeding. Now, because he is a football player and a legacy, more than likely he won't get the book thrown at him as hard as a common Joe and common Sally would. I'm just keeping it real. I love college football just like the rest of you, but these players think that they can just do whatever the hell they want, and especially if they're a legacy player. Dre Kirkpatrick Jr.'s dad, Dre Kirkpatrick Sr., played out here at Alabama as a defensive back as well and went on to the NFL and had a great career. His son is doing decent this year, has gotten the games off and on, caused a fumble against La Monroe, but he got ejected from that game. But it's almost like, and I'm not trying to be unfair here and trying to broad brush people's kids that are famous, but it seems like these famous football players and basketball players, their sons end up being like, it's like they expect stuff to be just given to them, or they expect to be given preferential treatment because of who their famous dad is. And in this case, I think that might be some of that, because why would you recklessly endanger 3 different people, whatever it was, establishments, whatever, and then elude police? Why would you elude police in today's time and age where everybody knows that more than likely you're not going to get away? It's because I think that he has this look about himself, or this opinion of himself, because his dad's famous, that he can just do whatever he wants to do. And we'll see how they handle it. Like I said, I don't expect him to get as much trouble as someone like you or me would. It says Kirkpatrick was booked in the Tuscaloosa County Jail on Saturday and was released on a $1,500 bond after his booking. Blah, 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 blah. Already said all that. But yeah, that's what it's all about. Y'all hearing the rumors coming out of Tuscaloosa that there was some controversy this past weekend. That's what it was. Like I said, I just think that some of these guys think because their daddies were famous and they're just basically an athlete that they can just do whatever they want to do. But hopefully it won't affect Alabama too much. I mean, like I said, he wasn't a huge contributor yet. He was the backup on the roster behind Keon Sabb, if I'm not mistaken. So any bad news is not good news, right? Obviously, Captain Obvious here. Will Smith is in the house. Will Smith says Tim Tebow and Aaron Hernandez used to get in bar fights. These things get covered up. Tim Tebow didn't. Tim Tebow actually went and drug Aaron Hernandez out of the bars, trying to keep him from getting in the fights, is what I understood about Tim Tebow. Robert Walger agrees with me. Because of their name, they have a sense of entitlement that maybe their father earned, but they never will. Yep. Just like old Shadir Sanders, old Saka Zulu Sanders. They even traded the guy that they named the starter at the Cleveland Browns. Just, I think, so that Shadir would have a better chance. Or as I like to call him, Saka Zulu, because he takes so many sacks. And now, without Saka Zulu, it looks like Deion's aspirations of being a great head coach somewhere besides Colorado may be going down the toilet, as he has gotten blowed out twice in the last 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, by Utah and who was they playing yesterday? Whoever they played yesterday, they blew them out as well. Trucking and Sports News says the Crimson Battle is coming. Going to be a hell of a game. I've never seen you here before, Trucking and Sports News, but glad to have you. If y'all don't mind, smash that like button, share, subscribe. All that stuff's free. Absolutely free. I know the word subscribe sort of invokes paying for something sometimes, but it's not on here. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 or 3 seconds, gets the party bigger and gets it more crunk. And as I said before, if you want to donate to the program because I'm being demonetized December 14th, free sharing Charlie Kirk videos, it's right down here. But let's go ahead and let's give those people a huge shout out that have donated to the show in this past month. They are Dolores Rogers, George Contupas, a.k.a. Killer Breeze, Aaron Blevins, and Russell Neese give to the program this month so far. And as you can see at the bottom down here, we have the Gold Club. Those are people that have donated numerous times as well as big to the program. Larry Trywicki's in the house. Corn is down. Bad, a broke leg and is out for season. That's not good at all because that was the one bright spot for Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken, right? Dylan Raiola is probably the star of that team. Am I correct? Have you been? Your wife doing okay? Yes, my wife is having some issues with her feet, but we're trying to get that. Appreciate you asking me, Crazy Anime Gamer, as the college football coaching carousel goes round and round and round and round. And round. Speaking of which, another one bites the dust, as I said before. Auburn fired Hugh Freeze down there on the Barn Monkeys. Just couldn't take it anymore. They were going bananas, as Barn Monkeys do. And they lost to Kentucky at home. I'd be mad too. But this is like the fourth coach in 5 years, man. Where are they getting all this money for these buyouts at? You know, it's like Arsenio Hall says, things that make you go, where are they getting all that money? Well, let's go ahead and bring that up real quick for y'all. And then we'll talk some more coaching news. And we'll also touch on some Oklahoma stuff. Brent Venables had an interesting rant about Oklahoma's not getting enough respect. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to get some Tennessee fan football reaction if y'all want to. What we'll do, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and share that first and save the Auburn stuff for last. So let's go ahead and get to the Tennessee meltdown. Y'all ready? I just love seeing the Tennessee fans melt down because of two Crimson Nations. The two Crimson Nations that we both, all of us adore in here. Well, not all of us, but most of us. But check it out. Here we go. This guy's sort of spastic now. I'm not going to lie to you, so be prepared.
Yes. Bounce off both those defenders. And that lead lasted shorter than my goddamn hair. Just a gutless bunch of losers on this defense. No. No! Throw the football! Oh my God! Yeah! Not over yet. Never said overness. It's Chris Paul, actually, to be honest. Based on everything else in game. Beautiful. Where was this the whole game? Inside. Bounce it! recovered by the dumb Sooner. Though, what the hell was that? He fell down. That's pretty smart, actually. Unbelievable. That's a touchdown! I wanted to be. Yeah, touchdown! Referees cap off the robbery with not allowing them to score. They score anyway. Mateer, not fan of guy. Yeah, okay. Another onside opportunity, you know? Chip and chair. Not over. This kicker is so bad, he didn't even get it 2 yards. In dumb Oklahoma. I hate that goddamn team.
See what y'all done? You see what y'all caused, man. Damn, man. Y'all making them have meltdowns out there in Knoxville, man. Y'all done cause some trouble down there in Auburn and Tennessee, man. That's Alabama's two chief rivals. We're stuck right in the middle of all this chicanery, all this just basic ass clownish behavior that goes on up north in Knoxville and down south in Lee County, that being the barn where Auburn University's at. Crazy anime gamer. Auburn is getting the money from SEC teams that keeps going to bowl games in their playoffs. Apparently, a team has to give a share of their bowl money to every member of their conference. That is true, but I don't think that share is enough to pay for all these buyouts that Auburn's been going through, brother. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, they're already having a meltdown in Tennessee, as you saw with the fan there, the guy going straight hardcore spastic on us. They're not very happy. Yeah, I've seen some videos. I didn't pull them up, but I've seen some titled videos talking about he's done. He's on his way out. Talking about Josh Heupel. I'm like, I went to the playoffs last year with Tennessee. I went to the playoffs last year with Josh Heupel, Tennessee. What are y'all talking about, man? One off year. Now I know Clemson is really sucking this year, and so the Clemson fans may have a better complaint to get rid of somebody that's done so much for them, but still not really. I mean, speaking of Clemson, they did lose again the other day in heartbreaking fashion to Duke at home, which hadn't happened since like 1980, and they beat them back-to-back years. That's been a while since Duke's beat Clemson back-to-back. But I still think with 2 national titles and 8 conference championships, that Dabo should be allowed to have 1 bad year or maybe even 2 bad years, because no other Clemson coach before him has ever done what he's done. They had a coach in the 1980s named Danny Ford that won a national title. I think it was in 1981, their first ever. And he was an Alabama alumnus too, by the way. Both coaches have won national titles for Clemson in the fake Death Valley, as they call it from LSU circles. I didn't say it. Don't kill me, Kevron Harris. I know you're out there. Don't kill me, brother. But they both guys that they hired to win national championships were Alabama alumnus. Just saying. I'm not trying to brag too much. Yes, I am. Y'all fired Dabo Swinney, and I think it's a mistake. I think you need to give him a few more years to get it in line. Maybe he'll come around and start accessing the portal more. He has started using the portal. So I think y'all need to give old Dabo a break for a little while. So if y'all don't mind, smash the like button. Gets this party bigger, gets it more crunk. Share, subscribe. Like I said before, like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's big for it all, absolutely free. Do that for me. And as I said before, there's the donation option as well if you want to help us a little extra, get in the Gold Club. And when I do get off of demonetizations, I will bring back the Outlaw Posse badges and all that stuff for y'all. We need to think of something great to do for all of us, the people in here, day in and day out. And as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about changing the name of this channel to the Outlaw of the Common Folk. That way we can talk about more stuff, not just college football, because in that stream that we done yesterday, me and Killabreeze did veer off for a little while into politics. People start complaining because you says just college football in your name. So maybe I need to change my name to Outlaw of the Common Folk. That way I can keep the acronym. Plus, I'm trying to do better about being more of a Christian aware type guy. I'm trying to cut back on the cussing as well. We may even have some testimonies on here, some testimonials about people and their religion, but only if they're titled as such. That way y'all don't get lured in and clickbaited into watching something you don't want to watch, because some people don't want to watch anything about religion or politics. So we'll make sure we appropriately title it if we change the name of the show and if we're doing a topic that maybe isn't about sports. So what's y'all's opinion on all that? You think I should change the name of the channel? Y'all think I should talk about more than college football? Maybe some politics, maybe some religion, anything. Pancakes at the IHOP. It's Cracker Barrel's pancakes better than IHOP, anything. See what's going on in the chat here. Thunder You Sooner says Tennessee fans want to bench their quarterback and their kicker. Well, I think Alabama needs to steal Oklahoma's kicker. We need to send a big NIL package to Norman before the game. That way we'll have him for our homecoming, and y'all won't have that advantage on us anymore. Fred Bagley says you got to love it. Yeah, you just got to love it, Fred. Tennessee fans are the biggest fans about talking smack, and it looks like they're losing their ability to talk smack. Now, I will tell you this, though. They say Tennessee's out of it. They're really not. They've lost 3 games. It's going to take some work. But like I said, with the way people are losing and catching their second loss already, so many teams, Tennessee could definitely be back in the mix for a playoff spot if certain things break their way. Now let's go ahead and bring up the Oklahoma stuff real quick that I want to talk to y'all about. I'm not sure if I agree with Brand on this, to be honest with you. Big win for Oklahoma, by the way. Big win. So here it is from Yahoo Sports. Speaking right after the win with Channel 9 News, Venables would express that the Sooners need to be respected in the country and spoke about the team's mindset being when's enough going to be enough. Well, Brent, when you finally beat a team in the top 15 like Tennessee, maybe that'll be enough. Maybe people will start giving you respect now. But if you go 6-7 in 2 out of your 3 years as coach, with only one 10-win season, and you're 1-3 against your chief rival Texas, Brent, when is enough going to be enough is when you prove that you can beat Texas on the regular and possibly go to the playoffs. I think that'll be enough. But beating Tennessee, Alabama done that 16 years in a row, man. Nobody give us extra kudos or support or respect for that. So I think Brent's asking this question a little too soon. I think he needs to prove himself a little bit more before he asks this question of the college football world. He goes on to say all the moments coming on the road, winning in this league, man, you got to do what winning requires, Venables says. And when we needed to, we were able to run the ball and throw it, got stops, create turnovers. Not everything went our way tonight, and I'm glad it didn't. Why would you be glad it didn't? That don't make much sense. You know, we're able to overcome and just be able to teach these guys, like, when is enough going to be enough? You don't need to really be teaching them that because that's like looking for a compliment. Enough will be enough. People will respect you, Brent, when you do enough, in their opinion. So that's when enough will be enough. And I think that'll come if you make the playoffs this year. If Oklahoma makes the playoffs, I think then you'll get the respect that you're desiring, Brent. And he says, for me, when's enough going to be enough? Once again, but put respect on his name across our chest. That's our responsibility, every one of us. Put respect on this name, Venables continued. When the freaking last second clicks off the clock, what are they going to say on SportsCenter about this football team? What's the country that loves college football? What are they going to say about the Sooners? Okay. I honestly don't really agree with him saying that. Normally, I'm all about some Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma fans. I love their fan base. I love their traditions. But to me, that was a little wanting. I mean, if I was Brent, I wouldn't worry about what SportsCenter said. I can't believe he said that. It just don't seem like something Brent would say. But he said it. He said it. Crazy Anime Gamer says, to be fair, that might be why Florida can keep paying their buyouts. Muschamp, Mullen, and the Sunbelt doofus named Billy Napier. Well, I'm going to explain something to you that I know is the case in most SEC schools. All these fans, they get all in the uproar saying, man, they're using the university's money, the money for college education and taxpayers' money to pay all these buyouts and these huge salaries. No, they don't. These universities, I know Alabama don't. I know LSU don't. They have their separate accounts. They have a separate bank account from the university, Alabama does, that they pay for stuff. They earn their own money. As a matter of fact, the football team for Alabama and probably LSU too have actually given money back to the actual academic side and to other sports. The University of Alabama football bank account that they got out there with the boosters and whatnot, they give money back to stuff like the basketball team and women's tennis and stuff like that. So I don't like them paying all these huge buyouts either. But let's be correct about where the money's coming from. It's not really coming from us, so to speak. It's really coming from all them rich donors. Now, when they start asking us for money like they did a few weeks ago, a few people were like making videos, and RAD back in Christmas was like the Alabama fan base. All of us need to bone up and give money to these kids. They call them kids. They're not kids. They're young men. Get aggravated when they call them kids because they're not kids. You want to give money to these young men that haven't really earned the right to be paid that much yet. You want us to foot the bill? Y'all created the problem, man. Y'all pay for it. Y'all the ones making millions of dollars. Y'all making seven figures. Some of you administrators out there. So y'all pay for it, man. Y'all don't be hitting us up for it. We do our part. We buy hats and souvenirs and tickets and all that stuff. So don't be hitting us up for the NIL money for these kids that y'all call kids. And they're young men. For these young men to have a $75,000 car. If they don't have a Porsche by the time they're 21, that's just a travesty. That's what I said on one of my last podcasts. It's just a travesty if they don't have a big $75,000 car, right? I don't know. I'm getting on a tangent now. All right, we got 83 people in the chat. If you don't mind, smash the like button. And throw some comments in here. Y'all talk. Y'all give me some of y'all's feedback on what's going on around here with the Brent Venables rant about he needs more respect. Oklahoma needs more respect. Now, let's get to the Auburn situation real quick. We'll touch on that. See what y'all got to say about that. Here it is. It says Auburn coaching candidates. Jimbo Fisher, James Franklin, among options on the hot board. These are the same names that keep coming up. Jimbo Fisher and James Franklin are doable because both of them do not have a job. But these sitting head coaches that keep coming up, like Lane Kiffin, for example, and Kurt Signetti, them guys are not leaving. Kurt's already got another extension, and Lane's probably going to get one. It says Auburn's heading back to the coaching carousel after Hugh Freeze was fired during his third year with the program. Tigers went 15-19, including a paltry 6-15. They shouldn't have fired Brian Harsin so quick, the guy before him, and push him out with untrue allegations that were never proven. It says Auburn is now set to hire their fourth coach in 5 years. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. You're never going to get where you need to get if you keep having to pay these buyouts and keep firing coaches, man. It's crazy. Although I don't know that sounds right. Is it really their fourth coach in 5 years? I guess it would be when they hire this next one. It says the next coach at Auburn faces an intriguing moment. They will have to rebuild the identity of the program in a highly competitive SEC. Like Freeze and Harsin before, they will have to do it in the shadow of national title contenders Alabama and Georgia. Poor old barn monkeys. They're right in the middle of 2 national championship programs. Although Auburn did win one back with Scam Newton. Now here it says that they won a national title in 2010, returned the title game in 2013. So there's a championship upside to this program. What they don't mention there is Auburn lost in 2013, ending the 7-year streak of the SEC of winning national titles. So Auburn is the weak link. They're the one that let the SEC streak die. Thanks a lot, Barn Monkeys. And there, of course, is the usual suspects that they were talking about as the new head coach. Missouri's Eli Drinkwitz keeps coming up mentioning these as well. I think he's also a candidate for the Florida job for Crazy Anime Gamer. Eli Drinkwitz, what do y'all think about him? Crazy Anime. Tulane coach John Summerall. And this is the one I really think that they should go after. This is a guy that everybody's been talking about, been hyping him up. Sometimes, though, when you get these guys that are really hyped up, they come in and they just fizzle. I remember when Will Muschamp was the next big thing, right? Jim McElwain, a lot of those guys, supposed to be the next big thing. Billy Napier was really successful at Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. And sometimes it just don't work out, man. Arizona State coach Kenny Dillingham is another candidate, according to them, but Dillingham is an alumnus of Arizona State, so we'll see if they're able to even get a glance from Kenny Dillingham. Georgia Tech coach Brent Key is another guy that keeps coming up. And, of course, South Florida's Alex Golish. Nothing really earth-shattering here from CBS Sports. These are some of the same candidates that everybody's talking about. What they ought to do is go out and maybe get one of the best up-and-coming assistants if they can't get one of the big names that they're trying to strive for. Someone like Glenn Schumann, defensive coordinator at Georgia. Alabama's Ryan Grubb, offense coordinator. Mysterious Black says Tate can wear whatever he wants after his performance. Yeah, I heard the Oklahoma kicker was doing his best version of transgender Daisy Duke. Is that true, Mysterious Black? Is he transgender Daisy Duke? Is he out there Daisy Duking it up? And I know he made a lot of field goals. That's great and all, but they really do need to start doing something about these uniforms. It ain't just him. There's a bunch of them out there running around look like they're wearing Daisy Dukes. Four coaches in 5 years. Where does the administration as a whole accept responsibility? Athletic director or board of regents. They have had 10 excuses why they can't get it right, but no, not one excuse why they did. Exactly, Robert. They got 10 excuses for why they can't, but they ain't got no excuse for why they finally did get it right, which they haven't yet at Auburn. Auburn's just like LSU in a way. If they could just get it right and get someone to stay there and be consistent, they could become maybe not a dynasty, but close to it. Especially LSU. They won national titles on 3 different head coaches this century. Nick Saban, Les Miles, grass-eating ass out there. Ed Orgeron, what's the guy's name off the water boy? He sounds just like that guy, man. Farmer friend, farmer friend Ed Orgeron. They talking about bringing him back. Remember the time LSU fired Ed Orgeron and he came back and he coached and won the national championship again? Do you? Remember that? Shit. They talking about rehiring Ed Orgeron. Like, damn, man. Eco Jar says that Dillingham is going to be a hard one to steal. He's a dude that leads his college football team. Yeah, well, they said that about Brent Key at Georgia Tech, too. Said that about Clark Lee, Vanderbilt. All these guys are coaching at their alma mater. But I will caution you this, going back in the day, I'm showing my age. When Alabama hired Bill Curry from Georgia Tech, he was an alumnus of Georgia Tech. And it's just this, it's according to what name calls. Auburn don't have the swagger and the swiftness about them they think they do. Now, if a blue blood, a true blue blood like Alabama, or Oklahoma, or Texas, well, Texas ain't a blue blood yet. To me, if you're going to be a blue blood, you got to win 5 national titles. But the true blue blood come a calling, I think that any of these guys at their alma mater would probably really seriously think about it, if not take the job. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt will be an interesting to see if he actually ends up going somewhere else as well. People have sort of forgot about Clark Lee. I guess because they got beat by the way, Texas almost blew a 24-point lead yesterday. I would have Mateer just run the ball and backup quarterback just throw the ball. I don't know about all that, but maybe, if you say so. If you think Hawkins is that great of a passer, I'll take your word for it. I don't really know a lot about Hawkins. Just know that he has been unseated twice. He hasn't been able to start over Jackson Arnold, and he wasn't able to start over Mateer. So, I don't know, man. I don't know about Hawkins. Like I said, maybe you know something about him that I don't. But, yeah, for Oklahoma to beat Alabama, me and Killer Breeze talked about this last night. In order for that to happen, y'all need to run the ball. And Alabama's run defense is not the greatest. We're not awful. We've been making progress, and we're getting better. But if that's one area that you might contest, it might be our run defense. But like I said, they seem like they're coming around a little bit, so you might not even be able to go there. Alabama, on the other hand, needs to do more of throwing the ball to set up the run. Usually you run the ball to set up the pass. But in Alabama's case, they need to pass the ball to set up the run, in my opinion. And Daniel Hill, big old boy, Derrick Henry-like. He weighs about 245 pounds. Can't remember his height. He might be like 6'1 or 6'2 or something. That dude's like a bowling ball. Daniel Hill's coming on. Y'all keep an eye on Daniel Hill this in 2 weeks, because we still got to get by LSU, who's in shambles. But sometimes these teams that are supposedly in shambles come out and they have a fire about them. They have a sort of rallying of the troops, circle the wagons, so to speak, like UCLA did for a couple of weeks until they ran into Indiana. Indiana's like a buzzsaw over in the Big Ten, man. I don't know if the Big Ten is just that damn bad outside of them in Ohio State, or if Indiana's just that damn good, as Triple H would say in WWE. I don't know, man. Michigan struggled with Purdue yesterday, so I'm sort of leaning to the fact that maybe the Big Ten, outside of the Big Two, Ohio State and Indiana, may not be a very good conference, and all these big wins by Indiana may be a little bit misleading. Eco Jar says, "Maybe didn't want to bother boo shave what to do the one and want to mud dog of football." You trying to type like Farmer Fran, man? That's pretty good, man. I give you. Where's your brother at, by the way? I ain't seen him in a while, man. He's been slacking on me. Oh, Johnny Johns. I used to call him Jimmy Johns all the time. Get me a sandwich. Give me a damn sandwich, Johnny Johns. Eco Jar, Derek Johns. Y'all like that imitation of Farmer Fran? That time LSU finally did what's wrong and come back and won the national championship game in 2027. Jack Burton's in the house. Jack Burton is our resident horns down, horns up, horns down, horns up, whatever. I think Jack Burton likes y'all doing horns down. Secretly, I think he likes that shit, so y'all keep doing it. Jack Burton said, "Sure looked like Josh Heupel didn't have much to say to Venables after that game. The fastest midfield exchange ever." Yeah. Maybe Brant stole his signals. Maybe Brant's been stealing signals again. That's what Lane Kiffin said he did to Auburn. Last time y'all stole signals, man, y'all beat somebody's ass. So maybe that's why y'all beat Tennessee and Auburn, man. Maybe you stole signals again. Maybe they took off stealing signals for a couple of weeks and then decide to steal signals again. Because that sounds legit, right? Wrong answer. I just got your ass handed to you. I do love Oklahoma for doing that. They're both of my chief rivals. Both the Barn Monkeys and the Puke Orange up there in Tennessee. Old Rocky Flop. old Rocky Flop and jack-o'-lantern pumpkin-headed ass Phil Fulmer. OU will have to play their best game of the year. Bama has turned a corner and Ty is playing lights out, says Preston Green. Preston Green in the house. Haven't seen you here before, brother, but glad to have you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this live stream. Thunder OU Sooner says the outlaw sounds just like Coach O with his impression. Coach O sounds just like former friend. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do former friend from the Water Boy. Mysterious Black says, with Hugh Freeze getting fired, hope we can steal Cam Coleman from the portal. Boomer Sooner. Hey, that's a good idea. It's a damn good idea. You know, we ain't but up the street here in Tuscaloosa. Maybe we should take a look at Cam Coleman. What you think, Mysterious? Tell you what, I really want to take a look at is who I just told you, though, man. I want y'all's kicker, man. I don't care if he wears Daisy Duke shorts, man. I want him to come out there and kick for us. As long as he's not free balling, man, it'd be all right. As long as he's not going commando in those shorty shorts that he wears out there, them players wearing them shorty shorts. As long as they're not going commando and they're doing good, I'm all right with it. So who y'all think's going to be the new head coach of Auburn? Who's y'all's candidate? What about Florida? What about Arkansas? What is it? 4 now? LSU, Arkansas, Florida. Auburn. 4 SEC schools. I don't know if we've ever had 4 SEC schools fire their coach in the same season, even before the season ended. That's something that's crazy, man. Everybody's getting fired before the end of the season. Everybody's getting fired. All the coaches, everybody's getting fired. We need to start a hashtag for college football called hashtag fire everybody. LSU takes that shit to heart. They did fire everybody. They fired the head coach, fired the offensive coordinator, then they fired the AD. And like I said in my last video, next thing you know, LSU they'll be firing their local gynecologist. Just saying. Just saying. All right, boys and girls, y'all have any more questions for me? If not, I'm going to get up out of here. As I said before, if you don't mind, donate to the channel through Cash App and Venmo. As you can see it down here coming across the screen, JPC316 on Venmo and JPC316 on Cash App. Because we got demonetized till December, demonetized till December 14th for re-sharing Charlie Kirk videos from TikTok. So help me curb the censorship. Donate to my channel through the Venmo and the Cash App stuff at the bottom of the screen. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel as well. The Big $4 absolutely free. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now dismissed.